Interesting to see what Lambton's going to do. They did lose their last game. They were up 1-0, and Apes was able to take a pick off them.
Ooh, an
So we're going to
Ivern
see
pick.
another Ivern. So I think we've seen this pick 3 times, and the only other time it got banned away. So definitely very popular at this tournament.
Interesting. Seems
exactly
like the Apes are looking to get some utility out of Ivern.
Yeah.
Keeping their bot lane Cobra up and at 'em.
So we see another Orin as well, seeing quite a few games on him today, and another Amumu. We saw this, I believe, in game 2. They picked him along with the Orin top again. So looking for that duo. A lot of CC potential between the two of them for sure.
Yeah, Lambton Lions definitely seem to be drafting a team fight heavy composition, trying to block out the Ivern pick there from the Apes United.
And it looks like we're getting a Corki. We haven't seen a Corki yet. Really safe mid laner. Good blind pick. Good blind pick. Don't really know what Lambton's going to pull out for the mid lane yet, so something that you can pick, and it's not really going to matter who they put up against that. There's not really a lot of kill potential. It's just more of a scaling mid laner that's going to work better into the mid to late game.
The Apes are definitely looking to draft something a little bit safer, try to scale too late. They don't have too much in the way of team fight, unfortunately. Daisy doesn't offer that much to the composition itself, so hopefully they'll get some more CC.
Yeah,
and
we haven't seen a
Maokai
Maokai either, so Apes, we haven't seen them yet. They're fresh face here in the from the other bracket. And we're going to see a Janna again out of NA's Finest. I believe he's played 3 games on that this tournament. A couple bans going his way out of respect. So definitely one of his big comfort picks that he's used a lot over the course of this tournament.
Thresh ban. So the bot lane is definitely looking to stop all sorts of snowballing coming from the side of Apes United. They don't want to see any AD pressure coming out on their side.
Looks like we're getting the Sivir ban actually out of Apes. So they're going to try and target maybe... Sivir works really well with Janet just because Janet can give her the extra shields and the healing she needs to try and stay alive in a team fight. And she works really well. Her bouncing blades can work really well with the Mumu and Orin if they do, again, big team fight.
Land those hard CCs.
Yeah.
We'll see here what the Lambton Lions finish out their ban. Another ban.
We've seen 3 Veins actually this tournament again, and we see another Hyper Carry banned out. So a lot of Hyper Carries banned out in this last.
Half the bot lane roster has been banned out.
So Vayne was actually really effective in the last couple games. It basically solo carried the Pepega to almost a win. Unfortunately, they weren't able to pull it together. Varus was able to pick up a pentakill in that last game, but was looking really good, was looking like it could carry them. So definitely a good ban from that.
Now we do see a Ziggs pick on the Lambton Lions. So they're really hiding that AD carry. They don't want to give it away. And it looks like a Vlad on the Apes United. They could flex it to the mid lane, or they could keep him in the bottom.
Yeah, I guess Maokai would be going top. I have seen Maokai jungle, but Ivory wouldn't really be going anywhere except for jungle. So most likely it's going to be a Vlad top, try and match that Ornn. Ornn not really going to be able to go hard into the Vladimir with his pool. So mostly just going to be a farm lane for a while. Vlad is going to scale up and be very effective going to that lane.
Yeah, definitely a lot of flex picks coming out on the side of the Apes. They do have a lot of different resources there. They can pool a lot into their Vlad. They do have really, the Corki as well.
Yeah, they're really AP heavy too. Like Corki, 80% magic, 20% physical. We got Vlad, Karma, Maokai, even Ivern are all AP. A lot of AP damage, so definitely some match resist is going to be needed on Lambton.
Lambton picking up the Tristana. They did need some form of AD pressure on their side.
So it looks like actually the Corki is going to ADC.
Could potentially be. And that's the thing with the Apes United slots. They do have plenty of flex picks there. They can draft pretty much all their champs in any role.
So it looks like, Karma mid lane, Corki support. You got triple teleport coming out on their side too. Janna's going to take the Ignite, Ziggs with Barrier, and Ornn with the teleport as well. But it looks like they're going to flex that Corki to the ADC role, put the Karma down there as well. A lot of magic damage, a lot of burst potential on the side of Apes.
It'll definitely come to the team fights. We'll see if the Apes United do have that scaling that they require to go up against the Lambton Lions.
But that Tristana's going to be really scary too. So
definitely so.
Looks like we're getting in the game momentarily here. What are you looking for? Who do you think is going to win this game?
honestly, as far as looking at the game state itself, the Lambton Lions have proven themselves to be a force to be reckoned with so far. Surprisingly enough, they did drop a game against Apes United.
Yeah.
However, they probably do stand tall. They do have a much, much stronger team.
Yeah.
Elo-wise, specifically, the skill is a little bit better as well. But they did drop a game, so we will see if they can continue their streak.
For sure. And personally, I was a Corky ADC main for two
Yeah.
seasons, and it did really well for me. I haven't seen it in quite a long time, but I am excited to see it. I've seen it a few times, actually, higher level games last couple weeks. So it's something that maybe is finally coming back to the bot lane. Could be something that, obviously we're going to see here. Really is going to depend how well they play this pre-6, just when Karma has that power spike. Jana, when she gets that disengage potential and the healing, is going to be a lot harder to make harder to deal with Tristana when Jana's able to disengage like that. So it really depends how well they play with their jungler as well.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with Corky, who is very, very weak early to mid.
Yeah.
That's when he does get his pressure. With the Ivern shields plus the Karma, they'll probably be stacking Ardent Sensors, just keeping him alive. They're probably going to have to force him to hyper carry, but we will see if he can do it. Corky has been weak lately, but we'll see if the side of the Ape United can make him worthwhile.
I'm very surprised they didn't go. I mean, obviously, like, the Vayne was banned out, the Jinx was banned out, the Sivir was banned out.
The
So you have a
Lucian
lot
as
of
well, yeah.
Lucians. So you have a very small ADC pool to choose from. I'm surprised they didn't first pick that Tristana, try and get yourself, a little bit more scaling, because there's not going to be a lot of choices. If you do pick up that Tristana, they're going to have to go to something like even possibly a mage ADC, because the only other really hardcore scaling champion left would be Varus. And into this team comp, it's not bad, but it's not your optimal champion, right? So
yeah. They did have the option to pick up Sivir as well, unfortunately, but they did ban it away from Lambton. They did hover it as their first pick, but they didn't lock it on.
Yeah. So we'll see how that pans out in this game. But my prediction is you're gonna have a lot of pressure going into the top lane, because that has been the strong side for Lambton. Bot lane is gonna try and just scale up. Hopefully get that Tristana to a point where she can try and snowball the game. So.
Yeah, the Lambton Lions will look to dismember the bot lane. It is the weakest lane that the Apes United did draft, however. So if they do lose that, that's kind of like their ace in the hole. Corky's pretty much everything that they will need for late. They do have Vlad. They do have the Ivern, the Karma. They do have heavy magic damage, especially with the Maokai. And so he's not going to deal that much. He's just going to look to sit on the carries. He's just going to dump all his CC and not offer too much besides that.
Magic is definitely going to be a lot of stacking magic resist on the side of Lambton, because you have magic threat from basically every champion on the side of Apes. So you have to start stacking that, and obviously your tanks are going to be bringing that, but even a Quicksilver Sash just for some CC and some magic resist is going to be key. So as we get in the game here, and we see that might be so it looks like it might be a Maokai mid lane, actually.
Could potentially be that. It's not too bad of a matchup against the Ziggs, however. He does have that magic resist passive, the healing as well, to keep up with the poke damage from Ziggs. But could even be Vlad flexed into the mid lane.
So definitely going to be something to watch out for. Unfortunately, it does mean that it takes a lot of Ziggs' pressure away from the mid lane, just because he can poke out the Maokai, but he's not going to be able to obviously go all in on him or do anything to force that Maokai, whereas a lot of top laners, usually if you go into a Maokai, you're playing a bruiser, you're playing someone who can burst him down, as he is pretty squishy going from early game to about level 6. So.
And you can see the Lions are pinging towards the blue side, blue buff, to see if they look to invade.
I think this is game 3. It's definitely, we've seen a lot of different invades throughout this tournament, but it's definitely something to be careful, because your tournament life is kind of on the line here.
Yeah, this is make or break for both teams. The final game of the semifinals. Winner will move on to the grand finals, where they will compete for a hefty prize pool as well as the
$2,500?
$2,500, as well as the very, very beautiful Saints Gaming Live 2019 Championship rings, as well as the trophy, of course.
You get rings too?
All teams get the rings this year,
Wow.
for first place.
Wow, that's...
So you get a little bit of a personal touch. The rings are pretty decent value, around
Hey, man.
$200.
Hey, you know what? I want to flex. If I had a ring, I'd flex it so much. Like, yo, I'll actually take you in a 1v1. I already won this tournament, so.
Yeah, you can pull that ring out every year at SGL. It does have the gamer tag as well engraved on the side.
Yeah, I don't think this tall play matchup is going to be a lot of damage. I think it's more going to be like, hi, how you doing? I'm just going to.
Yeah, two
smart.
heavy tanks up top. They aren't
Yeah.
going to be looking to do too much.
Yeah, and Orin on the last patch did get a bit of a buff on his items that he gives to other people. He got his own stuff, gives more stats, and the items he gets for other people also get more additional stats. So that's why a lot of teams have picked him up, because he gives a lot more late game value than he did a couple patches ago.
Yeah, the Forge is definitely something that adds a little bit of a wild card to the Lions. Having access to a lot more upgraded items, such as the Molten Core for the Infinity Edge upgrade, adds a lot more damage. I believe it's about 30 AD onto the Tristana.
Yeah.
That will put her a little bit of an edge above the Corki.
So definitely, Corki's going to have to start. Obviously going to push up in this lane just because the Karma and the Corki are going to be doing a lot of AoE damage. But the good thing is Tristana naturally pushes lanes, so they're going to match whatever push the Corki and the Karma have with their own.
You can see all lanes just looking to farm it out. A little bit of poke here and there, nothing too special.
I think Amumu and Ivern are probably just going to play this pretty passively in the jungle too. They're not going to be crazy ganks early in the game like you've seen these last couple games. But looks like Morn actually going to go in on this Maokai. Maokai's going to keep him away, going to keep him at a distance, but Morn definitely getting the advantage in that fight. And Maokai about half health, Orin going to be about 3/4. Zig's going to poke down the Vladimir quite a bit, actually. So, advantages for Lambton in the top lane and the mid lane.
Yeah, you can kind of see here the CS is pretty low on all sides. Ivern doing his best. Looks like he's getting some control on the top side river. Mumu might be looking to gank top side, where Ivern will be stepping on a ward relatively soon. We see an engage here from Maokai. Is a little bit under.
Ivern to come in, actually going to go unstoppable.
Going
does
in.
not land. Wow.
And then Mumu is here to save the day. Hits the bandage toss, and there's first blood for Sketcher.
Wow,
Let's
that
see
was
if they get
really
any
good.
more.
So, Sketcher has been really good. Oh, looks like he's going on the Ivern, actually. Ivern going to pick up the kill on Amumu.
Oh, and he might be able to turn this into a double. We'll see if Sketcher has the power.
Ooh.
TP coming in.
Sketcher does get him. TP doesn't, but it's a little bit too late. So
He
Sketcher
does make
picks
it
up 2 kills in that one. And I have to say, Sketcher's last couple oriented really well. He is able to predict when Apes or whatever team is playing against him, whenever they're going to come in and use their CC, he uses his unstoppable, waits for just the right time, and dodges out of the CC of Apes to pick himself up a kill, or 2 in this case.
And definitely well read from Sketcher. He did have that top rush warded. He knew the gank was coming. And very good on him to actually save his damage output for the Ivern, turning it around after Lambton's finest picked up the first blood.
All in Karma here. Karma's gonna have to flash out. Mumu hits bandage toss, and Tristana's gonna finish off the kill with the bomb. Gonna W onto the Corki. Corki has no mana. He does no escape. Gonna throw the ignite on there. Flash out of the Corki. Tristana's not gonna chase. So
they do pick up 1 kill on the Karma. Pretty good snowball starting up for the Tristana. Corki forced to kind of back out now.
well, Corki, not only Corki was forced to flash, Karma used both her exhaust and her flash, and Karma didn't even get out. So big summoner advantage over to Lambton. Jana still with flash, did use her ignite, but Tristana with both summoners means that that ball lane is going to be heavily in favor of Lambton.
Yeah, Corki's definitely going to have to give some respect to the Tristana. Like I said before, he is very weak early. And we'll see if 6ix9ine gets anything here. Doesn't look like much.
He's going to let that Ziggs back. Ziggs going to go no mana, so he's kind of forced to go back to base and get some wave pushing power back in the arsenal.
Taking a look at the CS, it is fairly close on all sides. Vlad being up just a little bit, about 400 gold worth.
Looks like Jana's sitting in the mid lane here. Gonna hit Vlad with the tornado.
Looking just to hold the lane there.
Pulls out of it. Good roam by Jana. Tristana's gonna walk back to lane. Tristana does have the BF store about Corki. Is only with the Cull and Longsword, so definitely a heavy advantage in the ball lane there for the Tristana over the Corki.
Yeah, and you'll see that they are pinging Jana in the river, and she did step on the control ward. little bit of poke coming out from Egg.
Looks like actually level advantage for the side of Apes here. Looks like they're gonna try and push up a bit, maybe roam to jungle, try and help out the Ivern. Ivern doesn't look like he wants to go for that dragon, he just wants to try and get some control.
See Sketcher getting some poke damage in, kind of forcing the respect on Lazy Tarina. We'll see if Ziggs can get the kill pressure.
Ivern's coming up behind him though. Cool thrown out by the Vladimir means he dodges the ult from Ziggs. Ziggs is trying to flash by the Ziggs. Karma's gonna come in, help him out though. He's gonna pick up the kill. And barrier used by Ziggs is gonna try and W out, not enough.
Kill given to 6ix9ine, which is very, very good. We'll see if Mo can actually solo kill Copite, and he does get it. Meanwhile, on top lane, we see both ultimates coming out. Sketcher going in, Lazy Tarina walking out, the flash and Moo, and they do get it as well.
So, a lot of summoners burnt there, a lot happening across the map. Top lane, they are able to pick up the kill for the Ornn, get him to 2-on-1. Bot lane, Tristana able to solo kill the Corki. As I said, with the BF sword, she's a lot more powerful than he is. He's going to have a really rough time down there. And in mid lane, it was a good effort by the Ziggs to try and get the Vladimir, but good timing on the pool means that he wasn't able to get that burst down, and Ivern coming in for the gank set. Even though he may have burned the flash and the barrier, roam from Karma stopped him from escaping and allowed Vladimir to pick up the kill on him as well.
And definitely very well played from both sides. Apes United roaming to the mid lane, picking off that Ziggs, whereas Lambton Lions made their plays on the top side. They did return the 2-for-2 across the map, and they do still have a little bit of pressure, although Ziggs is severely down in gold. But Sketcher does make up for it a bit in the top.
So there, Lambton is up about 1,500 gold, or about 2,000 gold at this point. So they have a pretty decent lead. Most of that is coming from the top lane.
And Ocean Drake going to the Lambton Lions does give him a little bit more health and mana regen.
It's definitely going to help him out, especially in the bot lane, where they're going to be looking for a lot of poke against this comp rather than trying to
does give him a bigger edge over the bot lane, having that extra sustain plus the extra damage. Looks like Ivern trying to gank mid, steps on a control ward. We'll see if he catches the one in the river as well. Doesn't look like he's going to check it.
So the good thing is, though, mid lane is under control. Vlad is a kill ahead of the Ziggs, and he has about 15 farm on him. So definitely taking heavy advantage there. Top lane, Ornn is going to try and go in on the Maokai here.
Looks like they're just scrapping it out. Sketcher does take the minion aggro, so he's at a severe disadvantage, but he's competent enough to just raise the lane.
Corki with the package coming in is going to cut off Janna and the very
questionable
deal. Janna's going to flash, double flash out both people on. Ooh,
and a big turnaround.
Yeah. Nice stun, nice snare by Ivern, but the kill is given.
Corki does fall.
So, although it is a 2-for-1, the kill did go over to Janna and not to Tristana. Unfortunately, Karma did pick up the kill, one of the kills, and Ivern picked up the other, so Corki did not get either of those. He just picks up the assists. Still, the advantage was obviously a 2-for-1 in the favor of Apes, so...
Yeah, and at this point, they're just trying to get that Corki back in the game. It kind of hinders their progress that the Corki did fall there. The exhaust did come out to the Tristana, stopping her from finishing off the Corki. Janna having to get that kill for herself. Definitely well played from Cobra, ganking that lane, drops the Daisy, shields as much as he can on the Corki, but he still falls in the end.
And Corki did have flash, so he decided not to use it. Did not think that Janna would be able to burst him down in time. But she surprised him with how much damage she did, and she was able to take that kill over their dying breath. Bot lane looks like I think it's still going to be pushed up by Corki and Karma.
Yeah, they're definitely forcing the wave under tower. Tristana's perfectly fine farming that, whereas Lambtons have their sights set on the rift.
And with top lane Cryo, obviously they're going to be able to take that.
6-9 dropping the Hemo Plague.
A little stuff on mid lane.
Ziggs back.
Janna's sitting in the top push though. Rift Herald is taken on the side of Lambton. Ivern looking up there, seeing if anything's going on. Forced to back away by the Janna and the Amumu. Tristana's kind of been just sitting in bot lane, taking good damage out of Ornn. Not really going to insta-kill anyone, but is going to force that Maokai back.
Might try a dive with the Rift Herald taking the aggro. We'll see if they can accomplish this. TP coming out from Vlad. Looks like they're going to get the Maokai safe and sound. Vlad trying to turn it around on the Moo, but he seems to be out. We'll see if Ivern can make the difference here. Looks like Lambton's just going to back off. Rift does die to the tower, however.
Looks like they might keep pushing here just for the plates. Might even try and take this tower. They still have 3 up here. They don't know the Ivern is here, and now they do. Ivern is trying to go for the root. Pulls out Daisy, go for the root. Flash by Ornn out.
Sketcher overextends a bit. We'll see if he can make it out in time. Does escape the Daisy slow, and he is out of there.
So it was a kill picked up on the side of Lambton. Maokai just getting hit by all 3 ults from the top laner, the jungler, or all 2 ults from the top laner and the jungler of Lambton.
Yeah, Lazy Tarina not having the best game. He is being camped, as you stated. Sketcher getting the carry pants on. He seems to be just brutalizing Tarina up in the top lane.
And that first item especially is going to make it a lot harder for even the Ivern and the Vladimir to come help him out just because of the magic resist that he's stacking. Definitely not going well for the Maokai in this game.
Yeah, if you're Apes United right now, you're kind of getting a little bit worried. Your Corki isn't doing too hot, your top laner isn't doing too hot. You do have your Vlad, however, but the side of Lambton Lions are very, very tanky. They can get that magic resist stacking. You can already see Ornn with the Abyssal Mask.
So definitely gonna start needing some more roams, some more ganks out of the Ivern before this laning phase is over.
They definitely need an answer for that Tristan as well as that Ornn. Ornn's just doing whatever he wants in the top lane. Lazy Tarina can't really do anything to him at this point.
If you look at the plates, they got 4 plates in top lane for the Lambton. They also have 2 plates in mid and 3 plates in bot, so that's a lot of gold compared to only the 3 plates in bot that Apes have.
Yeah, up nearly 4k gold as well as the Dragon. Lambton Lions looking to just continue their snowball. Sketcher might be able to get the last play as well as the tower in the last 45 seconds or so with his Demolisher proc. We'll see if he can get the wave under tower to do so.
Looks like Ivern is bot actually. Looks like they're gonna catch out the Amu. Amu's gonna flash out of the Karma route.
Interestingly enough, he does leave the blast cone up, so he might try to re-engage with that now that they have the numbers. Amu going in, misses the bandage toss.
Misses the ultimate.
In the top lane, Sketcher trying to make something happen. Lambton Lions disengaging in the bot river. It looks like just a retreat from both sides here. They are kind of prioritizing that dragon. They're giving pressure. There's a ward in the Ivern brushes, however, so they can tell whether or not they will be pressuring that.
Cloud Drake does do the most damage in the game, so although people say it's not worth fighting for, if there's a team trying to fight it, there's a lot of times where, especially early in the game, it's a lot harder for the team to take. So definitely something worth testing. Unfortunately, Amumu was forced to burn his flash and his ult to try and get out. So he's going to have a lot harder time contesting this dragon.
We'll see EFX. Sketcher missing his engage. Oh, he might be able to get the Corki. We'll see if he drops the bomb.
Oh, he misses the bomb. Bot lane turret is taken by the Tristana.
It looks like Apes are just rotating to the mid lane. They're trying to get something back in return, trying to answer the bot lane push. Lambton actually pinging for the tier 2 shove.
They see mid lane, there's 3 people. Ivern looking like he's going to bot. Maokai is still top lane, so they can try and take this tier 2. Obviously, with the buff turrets that we had a couple patches ago, it means it's going to be a lot harder to take it early, but they are able to get it down to half.
You can see Sketcher trying to force Tarina back under his tower, making it a little bit more difficult to farm. Doesn't want him just getting that free CS. Forcing him off the cannon, but he does end up getting it.
So, unfortunately, he's not able to take that turret for 14 minutes. He does not get that extra plate, which means he doesn't get as much gold. Looks like they're going to take a dragon here for free.
2 dragons on the side Lambton Lions now. They do have the regen. Now they have the bonus move speed out of combat, making that Amumu a little bit more threatening. Having that extra move speed, he can get anywhere a lot quicker now.
So the key for that too was the ward coverage was really good by Lambton. They have a ward in the Pixel Brush, they have a ward in the river, and then they had a ward in the Dragon Pit. So there was nowhere really that Apes could see other than behind in the Lambton jungle.
Yeah, they did drop that ward in the pit, but obviously just canceled out by the control ward. So they did have some idea that the Lambton Lions were on that dragon. However, they don't have the members there to take it away, so they're forced to just drop that.
And the 3 members of the red buff here, Looks like they might try and take this top turret. Corky does have package, so we'll see if he tries to use that to either disengage or to cut off some members of Lambton.
Looks like they're just trying to force down the tower, but Mo2's there.
So they want to go for the team fight here. Knock up on
does hit
3 members.
Advantage toss misses again.
Looks like they're going to try and engage. Does hit on the Maokai. Looks like they're going to put all bombs going to go on the Maokai. W onto him as well.
Huge
Not
bramble
gonna
smash.
flash out.
We'll see if he makes
Bomb
it out.
is
He
gonna
does
land.
not.
Corgi does not have his package, just expired. W'd into that. Groot landed on the 6. 5 members up here for Lambton.
And another missed bandage toss there from Amumu. That's 2 chances to engage into the favor of Lambton Lions, but they did miss out.
And he
They
does
did
have
get the
his
free
ult.
kill, however.
He does have his ult, so there's still a big possibility that he's going to try and fake the back and go around this tri-bush. He does hit a bandage toss on that.
Does
Ult to
hit the
Vladimir. Vladimir does use his tool.
Huge knock up there from the side of Orn. Corky forced to retreat. We'll see if Mo finishes the kill. He does. He does have the jump reset.
Go for jump
Jan
reset.
flashing in. Everyone's flashing in. You can see
Exhaust
Tristana
put
going
down.
in.
Corky's going to flash as well. We're going to go in for the finish. Turret is going to stay up. Turret's going to try and take him down.
Sketcher is going to
Last
go
hit.
down as well.
Karma takes that kill, and it's a 2-for-1 after all that. I'd say majority, all the flashes blown on the side of Apes, as well as, I believe it's Exhaust on Karma, Flash burned on Tristana, and Orn on the side of Lambton and Janna. But obviously it was a 4-for-3 on the side, or a 3-for-2 on the side of Lambton. And they will win out that fight. They'll also pick up the top turret, and it's very fed Tristana that you have to deal with.
Yeah, a lot of resources were blown there from Lions, but they did make up for it. Getting all those kills, getting that top tower, pushing into the top side jungle, getting that vision, the blue buff. And this Tristana is just having her own game. She's on a level of her own at this point. The Corky is powerless to do anything, even with the redemption on Ivern, even with the sensor on Karma. There's not much they can do to protect him. He just doesn't have the damage compared to Tristana.
Definitely might have gone for a scaling ADC. It would have gone a lot better with the double supports. Unfortunately, they were picking that up. And the Maokai at an 0-4 is not doing nearly as well as he would like to be.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of bad things happening outside of Apes.
And the big thing is that Karma does have 3 kills, whereas Corky just has 3 assists. So definitely a lot of gold missing out. Gold missing on the side of Apes, distributed to people that you might not necessarily want it on.
They are down nearly 7,000 gold, and at this point, if you're the Apes, what are you thinking, John? How can you scratch, how can you claw your way back into this game?
You need to focus down the Tristana in a fight. Corky does have armor shred, so he will be relevant throughout most of the mid game, and this is where he shines the most. He's got W4 actually on Karma, very risky. Warren, throw down his Q. Oh, and
Indeed,
Tornado
looks like
is
they're
going to
gonna
land. They're
lock
going to
him
all in. Corky and getting picked off. Sketcher picking up the kill there, and very questionable Corky play, I'd say.
Yeah, Coffite definitely underestimating the numbers that Lambton had. They didn't have the river warded, and they didn't notice that they were sneaking up behind him. It is very, very bad that he did get caught by that tornado, and Sketcher just picks him off.
I think that W2 was W4, it wasn't exactly what he was.
Yeah, blowing his getaway for a weird engage just didn't make too much sense.
We're going to try and siege mid here.
You can see here Amumu is on the flank. He is searching, trying to get a juicy ultimate there.
Now, there's a back. They are going to stop this shove in mid lane. They're not going to be able to take turrets yet.
Yeah, there's a ton of wave clear on the side of the Apes, so they're just going to clear it. Lambton forced to retreat. They have nothing better to do.
Dragon's going to be up in about 10 seconds. Looks like both teams are going to realize that. They're going to start pushing towards that. Lambton cleared all the wards that are there.
Interestingly enough, it is another cloud trade, so not the most useful in terms of dragons, but having even more move speed definitely adds more of a threat to the roaming game that Lambton Lions are using.
Looks like they're going to secure it. No steal coming through for the side of Apes.
Yeah, the Apes are hesitating a lot right now. They're giving up a lot of ground, giving up a lot of objectives. They're just way too far behind right now to make any sort of commitments.
Backs are stopped on 2 members. Corky
Yeah, Coffite just trying to be a nuisance.
Corky is having time of his life. But They're going to look to reset, which means that Apes can try and take this mid lane turret. They lose all their minions, though. Wave clear by Ziggs means they can't actually seize that. We'll see. Interestingly enough, Vlad is going to try and split push. That is where he is very strong, so we'll see if he tries to absorb some of the solo laners.
Yeah, the Apes definitely have to kind of grind their way back into this one. They have to pull out all the cards in the deck. Forcing 6-9-2 split push isn't the worst strategy they have, but he does offer a lot of teamfight presence. So him not being there, he does have the teleport available, mind you, but it might be a little bit too late in some circumstances.
That is the good thing about their comp. They do have 3 teleports, so if you are forced to split, it is very plausible that if there is a fight erupting, you can use a TP on 1 or 2 of your members just to bring them back into a team fight that might occur.
Yeah, that global pressure is definitely a threat for the Lambton Lions, but with all the control that they've had thus far, all the success they've had, it seems like they aren't too perturbed by that as well, especially actually starting the Baron. There is a ward on it, however. We'll see if anyone TPs.
Apes does know. Corky is going to TP. Horn is also going to TP in behind this. Well, they know what's happening. They are going to disengage from it. Looks like Daisy's going to take the brunt of the impact, though. And they are forced off the Baron, so that was really good. Looks like they might actually
turn it around.
Horn misses the ult, though. Does not get any knockup from that. They are going to take down
Guy. Huge ult from Amumu. They do pick off the Vlad. 2 for nothing. We'll see if they can push the charge now.
Go for a reset. Flash on Tristana and the Ornn means that Ivern's going to go down. Tristana's going to take the blue buff. Looks like they're going to take that 3 for 0 and look to take the Baron after as well.
Definitely a really calculated fight from the Lambton Lions. They did start that Baron a little bit early. I'm not too sure if they knew it was warded, but once all those TPs were out, they were perfectly fine with just backing up, resetting the fight, and getting into a favorable position where the Ornn could drop the Stormhammer. Didn't get too much out of it, unfortunately.
His ult, unfortunately, his ult was not able to knock anyone up as he was interrupted by Maokai halfway through, but he is tanky enough to hold him off on his own, and with all the CC between the Amumu and the Ornn, they were able to take down the Maokai really early, which meant that Tristana could just W forward, start Snowball, and was able to pick off 2 more members before they took Baron.
And it's looking very, very grave right now for Apes United. They're down 10k gold. We'll see if Lambton can convert this Baron into a GG. Probably going to look to storm down the mid lane, finish off that tier 2.
So the good thing for Apes is they still have all their secondary turrets. They're still not quite pushed in on any lane far enough where they can threaten to just run it down that lane. So for now, Lambton's probably going to try and split the lanes, pressure all 3 of them, force them to match up, and especially without the Vlad TP and the Corky TP, going to try and force them to answer one lane and give up potentially another. So it looks like they're going to modified 1-1-3.
Yeah, they definitely don't want all their eggs in the same basket. By pressuring all 3 of these lanes, it kind of forces Apes to kind of scatter themselves in an awkward fashion. You can see the top tower is going down rather quickly. We'll see if they can get it. The Ziggs W is available, so he'll most likely proc that in a second.
One thing I didn't talk about, there's a lot of siege potential on the side of Lambton. That Ziggs will do a lot of damage to the turret. Obviously, the Ornn Demolish proc is going to help that as well. So, I believe...
It's very hard to ignore any of the Lions at this point. They do have 2 Demolishes, one on Ornn, one on the Amumu, as well as the Ziggs W being able to just shred through turrets.
Yeah, and as we were saying, they're splitting the map. We took the top lane turret, they took the bot lane turret. They're still pushing in. Tristana looks to take the mid lane turret, and there it goes.
They get a desperate attempt to answer up top. They do lose the mid tower as well as the bottom tower as well, and they're continuing the siege. There's not too much that the Apes can do, unfortunately. They just gotta hopefully clear the wave. And Lambton's looking to just walk back, kind of reset. They're continuing the push up top.
Looks like they're gonna go all in on the Ziggs here. Package used by Corky. He's trying to go in on the top lane. Ziggs bomb's gonna hit 3 members. Redemption's gonna come down on the same one. Ornn's gonna flank from the back. Amumu big ult in the middle. Karma's gonna try and snare up this Ornn. Amumu trying to survive. Being run down by the Maokai. Just stop. Maokai picks up the kill on Janna actually. Gonna try and go in on this Amumu as well. Heal used by Tristana to get Amumu out. Ornn's still tanking 4 members of Apes and is able to make it out with half health. Tristana's still alive in this fight, though, always gonna be dangerous. Maokai gonna W onto the Amumu. Tristana's gonna try and W out. Karma does not hit that. Stun.
They're just going to disengage here. You can see that Lambton kind of hesitated on that fight. They did have the Ornn and the Amumu just tanking forever. Tristana had their free range to push the middle tower. It looked like they might have wanted to try to re-engage there when you saw Ornn go in, but they're just perfectly fine with the disengage there, trying to get
Looking
a
for a third Cloud Drake. Vladimir gonna go in. They are able to take it. Amumu looking for the re-engage, decides not to. Gonna say, okay, we're happy. We took mid lane turret, we took top lane turret, and we got 3 Cloud Drakes. We're gonna be very fast.
Yeah, they do have 2 exposed inhibitors right now on the side of the Apes. They're forced to clear these waves. They're in full retreat at this point. There's not much left that they can do. They're down nearly 12,000 gold.
They saved
overall.
the inhib though.
They did manage to save it. Roughly 200 HP left on that inhibitor.
So definitely going to be very, very hard to stop this siege from Lambton when it comes. They're going to push down bot lane, send perhaps the Ornn or the Ziggs to take an inhib. And unless they have a big team fight where they can take out the Tristana early, it's going to be very rough for Apes to try and
This one does seem to be in the bag at this point. There isn't too much hope on the side of Apes. Maybe they can get lucky. Tristana overextends at some point or another. But with those 2 huge meat bags in the side of Ornn and Amumu, it's probably not going to happen. You can see he's actually engaging here, tanking up 4 members.
You can see Corki is not really doing much damage to him. He's just kind of taking it.
And a missed Teemo play for Vlad, actually. They're trying to turn conversion kill on the Ornn. He does make it out. Amumu flashing in with the ultimate. Ornn with his ultimate as well. Does hit 3 members. We'll see if Tristana can get into this fight. Being kited out by the Vlad. And kind of a very slow fight. It looks like they do get the Maokai. They're pushing forward.
He's going to go in for another one. Does not hit the crit, though. Is not able to
And a
take that
huge bandage toss on Amumu. Does hit the Ivern, forcing him down.
Big flash. Stopwatch by...
We'll see if they can get the Vlad, and that's surely GG at this point. Tristana trying to get a last kill on that Corki. It doesn't manage to get it. No crits, unfortunately. And now they're just going to look to end the game. And it's most likely over at this point. No hope left for the Apes. The timers are too far. Maokai is up in 10 seconds. We'll see if he has any impact whatsoever. Odds are it's probably not. 2 demolish procs with the Ziggs as well.
Bandage toss on the Karma. She's going to stay alive, though.
Yeah, Amumu just
gonna
forcing him
stopwatch
back.
as well.
And they're going to look to end right here. They're knocking down the inhibitor. It's about 10% HP, and that is GG. Lambton Lions are the semifinal winners. We will see them in the grand finals.
So definitely problems in the top lane on the side of Apes. Corki pick, not exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah, definitely a very odd composition that they drafted for themselves, heavily reliant on that magic damage. Corki was the ace in the hole. They drafted 2 utility supports for him, the side of Ivern and Karma. They drafted as much as they could to keep him up, but at that point it was too little too late.
And I think also when you're drafting, you're thinking Maokai, okay, protect my ADC, Maokai, Ivern, even the Karma. The problem is when your ADC is doing 80% magic damage, when they build against your team, they're just going to build magic damage. Your ADC is not really going to do that much.
Yeah, having 5 team members mostly relying on magic damage is just easy pickings for the side of Lambton. You saw they stacked their Abyssal Masks right away. Ornn actually upgrading his first item, and it was pretty much over from there. Ornn just took every single hit. He actually 1v5'd pretty much, just taking all the damage. Didn't care at all.
It's true. He just
Tristana
kind of
forced
walked
the
in there.
skirt
Like,
on the outside, kind of getting her little pokes in every now and then.
Okay, y'all can hit me. Nothing's gonna happen, but you can hit me.
Yeah, and it opened up a lot of windows for the Amumu as well, especially. He did have some missed bandage tosses, unfortunately, which made things a little bit rough for Lambton in some fights, but they managed to turn around, just flash R-ing.
And I think that the big thing was in that game was the Maokai top 2. Ornn was able to get a clear advantage, a couple good ganks by Amumu, especially that first one in the middle where he was actually able to outplay the gank and get 2 kills in the top lane without dying.
That level 3 play was definitely something fantastic. He did turn that gank around right on its head. Actually, 1v2ing for a little while. Amumu was a little bit slow on the rotation, but however, they did transfer that into 2 kills for the Ornn. He did get double boss out of that, and he snowballed his lane incredibly. And they just look to pressure that continually.
Definitely able to tell the difference between a good Ornn and a bad Ornn this tournament. You've seen a couple Ornns that have just been in lane, kind of AFK, and were run over by a Renekton. Or you see one like this where he's able to just take over his top lane, do a lot of damage to a tanking member of the other team who isn't able to do as much engage and disengage as Horn can.
And he pretty much had free reign over the entire game. You saw a lot of ultimates coming out, a lot of CC just being pumped out on the side of Lambton. Pretty much they had free range to do whatever at that point.
So our next game is going to be Grand Finals, team bench players versus Lambton. Very exciting game. Both these teams have shown that they are incredible, and their skill level is just immense. So I actually really am excited for that finals match.
Yeah, and it's definitely two high-level teams. The team bench players were first overall, undefeated coming into the Grand Finals, as well as the Lambton Lions, who were third seed. They did claw their way back up, but they did turn it into a semifinal win.
So definitely exciting to see this next game. We'll catch you later.